Hello everyone, welcome to this live with Morley. I am Ambarina, beauty passionista on Instagram, and I'm a beauty and lifestyle writer. I've been a beauty editor for many years and everything to do with beauty, health, now moving more into fitness as well. So I'm just saying hello and just let some people join. How are you all? In lockdown right now. I've got my other little phone here so I can see things on here. Let's turn that volume down. Can you all hear me properly and can you see me properly? Because the light is going in and out, the sun is going in and out behind clouds. But hopefully I've picked a spot at home. It's hard picking a spot at home when everyone's at home in lockdown, but hopefully you can all hear me really well. So welcome to this live. As you know, we're talking about all things to do with well-being from a certain point of view. Hi, Anita. So I made a few notes because I just want to make sure that I talk about all the things that I really want to talk about. It's strange living in lockdown, let's be honest. I mean, everyone says it, it's strange times. It's become a cliche. It really is strange. And the thing that I find most disconcerting, and that maybe you do too, is the fact that there's no certainty. We have no idea when this finishes. We have no time frame. It's not like we know in 3 months or 6 months we're moving out of this. So I find that the difficult thing. And it's making a shape of your new life, in a sense. That is, I think, the most challenging thing. Giving shape to your life. We've had shape before, whether it is heading into work every single day and coming back at the same time every day, or dropping the kids to school and coming back again afterwards, all of that kind of thing. It gives shape to your day, and it kind of gives the routine that I think as human beings we thrive on. And right now, all of that's been thrown out the window. And so to me, it's that lack of control. Everything is out of control. We have no control over all the events. So I want to talk about 2 or 3 things that have helped me and will maybe help you as well, in terms of taking back some sort of control. And I just feel that that can be so positive in all sorts of ways, in every realm, whether it's physically or in your mental space as well. Just taking back control can be really good. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was, as you probably saw on the little Insta story posts saying what we're going to talk about today, is intermittent fasting. And the reason that I am going to talk about that in particular is because it's one of the ways that I feel that I've managed to take back some sort of control, even within a small little arena of my life. And I find it really empowering to be able to say, I have set myself a challenge, and every time I meet that challenge of however many hours I'm doing the intermittent fasting, I feel like I've achieved something. And it's kind of sometimes like it's the small wins, don't you think? It's the small wins that keep you going and make you think that you can get through this. I think sometimes setting these big challenges that a lot of people are doing in lockdown, and you know what, power to them if that's what they want to do. If they're learning a new language or a totally new skill, which can be so empowering as well, then more power to them if that's what they're doing. But for some people, it is about the small wins. And I know that one of the things that's really easy to do right now in lockdown is the overeating aspect of it. It's that mindless eating. It's that lack of shape to the day. So you could be grazing all day. I certainly could graze all day. And thank you. I'm kind of looking at comments on this one as well. So I'm trying to keep up with the comments on here. If there's any questions, please do send them because I can look them up on here. But yeah, so it's just, I kind of use the intermittent fasting anyway as a general health tool, and I have done since April last year. So no, longer, about a year and a half. I've been doing the intermittent fasting, and that was purely for health reasons. I had to do it for health reasons But now I do it as a way to shape my day, and never have I been more grateful for intermittent fasting than I have right now in lockdown. And that's because it is so easy to just, especially in the evenings, just to graze my way through Netflix binges. So I'll be binging on Netflix and I'll be binging on food as well. And it's just little bits and pieces, but they all just add up. And then by the end of the evening, I'm feeling full and bloated, and I don't sleep well. And I think that that is true for a lot of us. The more we're eating, the more lethargic we're feeling. Quite often we feel that we need to eat more because we're running out of energy, but actually the things that we turn to when we're eating because we're running out of energy are the very things that give us the sugar highs and then the huge crashes down with the sugar. And so with the energy levels going up and down like this, it's even harder to stay positive, I think. So if you're not sure what intermittent fasting is, it's basically exactly what it says on the tin. You are trying to eat within a specified window of time every day in a 24-hour period. Some people do it 5 days a week. I tend to try and stick to it 7 days a week. The most well-known version of it is the 16-8. You'll have heard people talking about 16-8 fasting. That is the kind of the most popular one. For women, even 14-10 is really, it can be optimum for them. So you have to do what's right for your body. I tend to do a 16-8. So basically I eat nothing after dinner. That's the plan. Or if I have a really early dinner, I'll make sure to stop picking on things by about 8 o'clock at the latest, which then gives me, because I do the 16-8, till about midday the next day. And all it means is that I skip breakfast. I have a black coffee, which probably isn't in some people's list of approved drinks, but yeah, I'll have a black coffee to keep me going in the morning. I also have a hot water and lemon in the morning, but anything that doesn't raise the blood sugar. And that's kind of one of the key things to intermittent fasting. So if I just kind of ask me questions as well, but one of the things that is really key with intermittent fasting is that you're giving your insulin a rest. So you're not spiking your blood sugar levels, you're not spiking your insulin production for that long period of time. And that because we do it overnight as well, you're really letting the body get on with all the other processes that the body needs to do overnight. If you're eating till, so say you're grazing till 10:30 at night, even 11 o'clock at night, it takes time for the body to digest. When you go to bed, instead of your body doing all the repair and the regeneration and the things that it wants to do and needs to do overnight, the first few hours of your sleep time, it's still digesting food. So it's really important to at least stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. But I tend to finish by 8 o'clock if I can. It does make going out for dinner with friends really difficult, obviously, timing-wise, but we're not going anywhere. So if you were ever in your life going to try intermittent fasting, this would be the time to do it, because you're not going anywhere. You have full control of what time you finish eating. And I just think that that would be incredible if you could. I've seen such differences. The health benefits are like crazy, off the charts. Long-term health benefits as well. There are research being done into whether it helps things like diabetes, onset of Alzheimer's, cholesterol, obviously. There is obviously a weight loss associated with it, because you're not doing those mindless empty calories all night, which add up. I mean, sometimes I know in the past, just the grazing that I've done, a little bit here, a little bit there throughout the evening, is probably more calories than I've eaten at dinner. So yeah, you kind of have that weight loss element of it. And I treat it like a challenge. So if I say, right, I've finished eating now for the evening, I get my kids to hold me accountable. So they're watching me and they're like, you said you're not going to eat anymore, which I think can, and getting them involved means that I don't have to use my own willpower all the time. I've got them to hold me accountable. Hold on, just saw a message. Has my diet changed in those eating hours? Do you enjoy whatever you want, or has this changed your habits? in theory, you can eat whatever you want, but I'm very careful with sugar anyway in general. I'm lucky that I don't have a sweet tooth, although I do have certain things that are my weak spot. So Jaffa cakes. I love Jaffa cakes. My weak spot is really savory stuff. Like I could eat a bucket of popcorn, salty popcorn on my own. I could go through a pound of cheese on my own, just like slice it off and eat it up. So my diet has changed in the sense that I'm more aware of what I'm eating, and I'm trying to just be a little bit more mindful of what I'm putting into my body in the 8 hours that I am eating. I tend to eat basically 2 meals a day and maybe have a snack, but the snack is also on point with what I'm trying to eat. So I kind of tend to stick more to protein and good carbs. I tend to stay away from, and before even intermittent fasting, I tend to stay away from wheat products and dairy products. Cheese is my Achilles heel, and I can see it and feel it. When I've had it, I feel sluggish, and I literally get puffy under eyes if I eat dairy, especially cheese, probably because I eat cheese in massive quantities when I do give in to my cravings. So my diet has changed in the sense that I have 2 meals a day, and I've also introduced something else. It's what I break my fast with. I have a Bulletproof Coffee, which I think is really, really helpful for me in particular to not be picking in the evenings. So when I break my fast, I'll either break my fast with a Bulletproof Coffee, or I'll break it with lunch and have a Bulletproof Coffee. And I've actually made a video on how I make my Bulletproof Coffee. It's more than just the MCT oil and the butter. I actually don't use butter. I use organic grass-fed ghee because it just tastes so yummy. It's like having a dessert. So I've made a video. So maybe after this live, maybe on the Morley stories, they can do a swipe up for us, and you can see how I make my Bulletproof Coffee. But I make it like with cacao sometimes, and it's like having a hot chocolate or a dessert. But what I find is with those good fats, if I have that, it means I don't pick at night. So the days that I've forgotten to have my Bulletproof Coffee in time, I don't like to have it too late in the day because I would just stay up all night with the caffeine. So on the days that I've missed it, I definitely feel the cravings at night, or the lack of willpower. Whereas on the days that I've had a Bulletproof Coffee, even if my husband is sitting next to me and he's picking at the crisps and he's picking at the peanuts and whatever else, I don't even ask for a bite. And it's not on purpose. I don't feel the need to have it. So I do try and have that, and I do like the good fats. I do think a teaspoon of ghee every day. Some people would balk at that because obviously that's fat, but to me that's a good fat. And I almost feel like, this is going to sound bizarre, but to me it really does feel like I've moisturized my skin from within, and I've really like moisturized and nourished all my cells from within when I have that, because the ghee is really pure, and I feel that it's doing so many good things. I feel like my skin has been much more radiant ever since I've been having that Bulletproof Coffee because of the ghee, and it just tastes amazing. So yeah, definitely I break my fast with that. I feel I sleep better as well. I think that that's a common thing with intermittent fasting, just coming back to that, is that you sleep better. And I think that's because your body is not digesting anymore when you go to bed, but also you're not taking in extra calories. I think we all eat way too many calories. I remember being told that our stomach is this size, the size of your fist. Sorry, I've got my hair scrunchy there. Stomach is your size of your fist. Whatever your fist is, that's the size of your stomach. So anything more than that we eat, that's overloading the body. So it can be really good for sleep. I feel clearer headed in the morning for sure. And also none of those hidden extra calories. Like I said, I can eat more calories by picking and grazing than I can in a full meal. So yeah, I do tend to stick to that. Let me just see what we've got here. You fast for 16 hours apart from a flat white in the morning. That does break your fast. A flat white in the morning will break your fast because of the sugars in the milk. I guess it depends how much. If you're literally doing a splash, opinions are divided on the number of calories that break an intermittent fast. Some people say 30 calories, some people say 50 calories. I think it's also key where your calories are coming from. So, because some people say a bulletproof coffee doesn't break your fast because you're not spiking your sugar, blood sugar, because you've not got anything with any sugar in there. But a flat white would definitely break your fast. So all you're doing is making your fast shorter. Just quickly reading. Do I have an Instagram page for all my tips, please? Oh, yes, I do. It's at Beauty Passionista. We'll put something up afterwards, I'm sure. But yeah. I'm doing the right, thank you. It's, as Anita's saying, it's not bizarre at all. It's exactly what we recommend in Ayurveda. You are doing the right thing. Well, that's really good to know. So no coconut sugar, no, because it's still a sugar. So any fruit as well, yes, it's a good form of sugar, but it's still a sugar. So if you are doing your intermittent fasting, a black coffee, a black tea, a herbal tea, hot water and lemon. I do have hot water and lemon, sometimes hot water, lemon and ginger. I have that in the morning. Sometimes I'll have an apple cider vinegar diluted with a little bit of water. But none of that is sugar in any form. So that's kind of why I will stick to that until I break my fast. And actually, I'm not tied to 8 p.m., 12 noon. If I finished eating at 6 o'clock, then I'm quite happy to break my fast at 10. But I'm so used to eating at 12. That's kind of I shape my day with that sometimes I'll do an 18-hour fast and it's fine. You do get used to it. I think we get scared with the word fasting, and I think we get scared when we're told you're fasting for 16 hours or 18 hours. But actually, if you think about it, you're asleep for most of that time. And even if you finish dinner at 8 and you have your next meal at midday the next day, it's just like having a late breakfast or a brunch or something. Like if you were meeting friends for brunch, you would probably meet about 11:30, right? And then you would sit down to have, by the time the food comes, say you've gone to a restaurant, like I'm talking about in the past, but if you sat in a restaurant, you met at 11:30, by the time your food arrived at the table, it would be midday. So you probably wouldn't eat anything until then. So just ordered a bunch of your products on Net-a-Porter, should arrive here in Mexico. Wow, someone's just ordered the Morley products from Mexico. Any one product you would say is a must-have. So I don't know if a Morley person can answer that. From my point of view as a consumer and user of Morley, I would love to be able to show you what I think is my must-have product, but I don't have it here with me. It's the massage dome that comes with their serum. I've actually done an IGTV showing how I use that to massage the face, but you can, it is the most beautiful experience that you can, it's kind of almost like the pinnacle of self-care, giving yourself a massage. And the Morley little dome massage tool, I don't know if you've ordered that one or not. It is really, really lovely. It has a metal tip, which I can't remember all the metals in there. Please, someone from Morley jump in. But I think there's copper in there for sure. It's a mix of different metals, and you can really see the difference it makes to your skin. You finish this self-massage and you're glowing. The other couple of products that I brought with me to talk, if you wanted to know, that I love and I use. I've been doing something recently. I'm not going to go into too much detail now because there's a couple of other things I want to talk about on this live. But I have been, during lockdown, I've been doing what I call the no heat hair challenge. So I have not used any heat in my hair for 4 weeks. It was yesterday. So even this is not my hair. I haven't used any tongs. I haven't used a blow dryer. I haven't touched my hair with any heated appliances at all. And what I've been doing instead, the time that I would normally have styled my hair, I'm using products to really feed my hair and my scalp. I've been loving using this. This is the Morley, can you see that? The Morley hair oil. And I really get into the scalp and I really, really massage this into the scalp the night before I'm going to wash my hair. And it's all about a healthy scalp, and I just think that this is like having a spa treatment for your hair. It's just incredible, and you're massaging this into your scalp, so you're bringing fresh blood with fresh oxygen to the scalp to feed those hair follicles, and it obviously, as you're massaging it, the oil works its way down the hair, so it's moisturizing the hair as well, and you wash your hair out the next day, and it's just incredible. And the other one, which I keep in its packaging so that I can keep it safe, it's their body oil, and this literally smells like you are having a spa treatment as well. Ugh, the smell of all the products they're beautiful. This is a dry oil. Oh, why am I putting it back in there? I want to show it to you properly. There you go. This has such an incredible smell. It's a dry oil as well. So I would say my 3 favorite products. I can't show you my top one because it's not here. It's the dome, the massage dome. But yes, let me just go back quickly. How lovely, from Mexico as well. Someone else has just got the face oil. Smells good. Oh wow, yeah, it does. Copper, zinc, and a trace of tin, says Anita. So yeah, the hair looks so full. I'm telling you, I've been using this oil in my scalp for 4 weeks with every wash. Once a week I wash my hair in lockdown because obviously I'm not going anywhere. What else did I wanted to talk about? I want to also talk a little bit more about all things kind of lockdown-y. Have we finished what I wanted to tell you about intermittent fasting? Yeah, oh, the other thing I wanted to say was when you set yourself challenges, like I do set myself challenges because otherwise I can just go off on tangents. I'm sure we all can, and I think even more so right now where, I don't know what day it is. I'll ask my kids 5 separate times during the day, what day of the week is it? I've lost count of the days because they're all the same at the moment. But yeah, I was in my intermittent fasting kind of regime. I was really good for the first 4 weeks of lockdown. First 3 weeks of lockdown, I was really on it. I was getting up at the same time. And then, you know what it's like. You just kind of lose your way. I definitely lost my way with my routine, with my intermittent fasting a little bit here and there. And so my way to take back control was to re-implement my regime of intermittent fasting. I have one of those apps. I set the timer when I finished eating my last mouthful, and then that's it. And that again has brought shape and, I'm not going to say purpose because it makes it into a bigger thing than it really is, but it does feel like it's brought shape and some sort of routine back into my day. I'm not going to go too much into the Bulletproof Coffee now, but if you did want to know about it, I'll ask Morley if they can maybe link my video that I did about what I put in there, how I make it, why I even make it as well. And there's 3 different ways that I make it. So actually I have had a Bulletproof at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I don't use coffee. I have 2 other alternatives, and that's a way around it for sure. Moving on, no pun intended. The other thing I really, really wanted to talk about was, and it's all connected, right? We've all seen all the memes about what we're going to look like and feel like after lockdown, how none of our clothes are going to fit, and already we're looking at wearing looser clothes. I know friends of mine who started off lockdown getting dressed properly every single day, now can't even put on their jeans because we are moving less and we're definitely eating more. So I wanted to address the other side of the same coin. So we talked about kind of how I control my ability to overeat, my tendency to overeat if I don't take control. So the other side of it is also obviously about getting some movement and activity into your everyday. And it's really difficult in lockdown, especially if you're homeschooling and you are tethered to that desk and that iPad or that laptop with the kids all day. And the only break you get is to quickly make them lunch, and then you're quickly giving them lunch, and then you're sitting with them again for schooling for the rest of the day. It's really, really tough, and I know that. But it is so important to still move every day. And I think that's one of the reasons why the government made sure they kept talking about an hour of exercise every day, like go out for an hour. And that is because movement is so important. We are mammals at the end of the day, and we were made to move. sorry about that. We were made to move constantly, and we don't. We are obviously all sitting around a lot, and that's just normal. That's the way it goes. And even for those of us that, you know, were regular gym goers, whether on our own or with personal trainers, all of that is out the window. I think the government has said that gyms are not opening, for sure, they're not opening until September. And obviously one-to-one with your personal trainer, all of that kind of stuff, that's all on pause at the moment. Is a massive blow to me, by the way, because I'm just in the final processes of qualifying as a personal trainer. And obviously I can't complete my qualification until everything is back in place, because I need to do video assessments and that kind of thing. I need to be going into gyms, can't do all of that. So, you know, as a kind of on the side, I've actually launched an app. I'm in the first 6 weeks of that app, and it's a well-being and fitness app, and I'm kind of doing a soft launch with 10 ladies, and we're into week 2 right now, and then hopefully in 5 weeks' time I'll be able to launch it to the big wide world, but that's for another time. But what I wanted to say is, yes, we have had a lot of liberties taken away, things like going to the gym or going out for a run with a friend. I know that, you know, I used to run with my neighbour. That's not going to happen for a long time now. So there are ways to look at it. You can look at it and say, I can't do that. I can't do what I was doing, so I'm not going to do anything. And that kind of all or nothing approach is just, you know, to use a phrase that my mum used to say, you know, you'll just be cutting off your own nose to spite your face. Is that what it is? You're cutting off your nose to spite your own face. You know what I mean? So the thing to do, I think, if it's possible, is to try and look at the positives from it. And what I've decided to do is to think of it that I'm now free from the tyranny of that regime of going to the gym. Maybe if you were doing classes and you were doing the same classes, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's the same class every week, week in, week out, that kind of thing. And you're free from that now. You're free to move your body whichever way you want with no constraints. So if you want to dance in your room to One Direction for 15 minutes, do it, go for it, because who can judge you? You wouldn't do that in the gym. Even if that's what makes you happy, you wouldn't do that in the gym. So whatever music you want, I think just put the music on, dance your heart out. You can really work up a sweat. You can incorporate more kind of traditional gym workout movements into a dance if you want, you know, a few squats and a few lunges while you're dancing, a few press-ups even if you wanted, whatever it is you do. But the thing is, if we can try and focus on the freedom elements that are still available to us. I guess it's all about coming back to what I started with. It's coming back to the idea of saying which areas can I still control even though I am stuck in lockdown. Does that make sense? So yeah, I can't go to the gym, I can't attend my normal classes, or I don't have a personal trainer, or I can't run with my friend. But instead of focusing on the list of what you can't do, if you can try and make a list of what you can do, like work out with the kids. I know I'm really lucky, we have a garden, not everyone has a garden, but even inside the house sometimes, whatever we can do together, I try and do it with my kids, especially my youngest daughter. She's very competitive. So if she does something, I'm competitive too actually, so she probably got it from me, because if she does something, I'll do it. But if I do something, she'll definitely do it. You know, she's not doing the workout classes that the school is sending her, because there's all like online PE stuff. But definitely that is something that you could really, really do. It's all about, even if you're not worried about putting on weight, it's about making sure that you keep your heart healthy, you keep your lungs healthy, and just making sure you've got the serotonin levels and releasing those endorphins. It can really, really just make you happy. And ultimately, it's an opportunity to find out what your body really likes and what your body responds to and what makes you happy. Because that's what it's about in the end. It's just about it's about movement that makes you happy. So even if all you want to do is just swing your arm, I'm going to be really weird here, but if you want to swing your arms around like this, if you do that 100 times, I can tell you, you'll be working all your shoulder muscles and you'll be working your lats here. So there's ways to make sure that you stay fit and strong, mobile and flexible, even if you're not doing your regular routine gym workout. And if you're really missing that kind of a teacher telling you what to do, there has never been a time as brilliant as now for finding so much free online content. Like on Instagram, there are so many live classes. I know Morley has had various fitness teachers on, and yoga, Pilates, and there's so much free live content, and on YouTube as well. I mean, it's just, there'd never been a better time to really explore, try out so many different things. You don't have to only do the things that have we frozen? Can you still see me? Am I still talking? I don't know if it's frozen or not. But yeah, there are so many ways to move your body. It doesn't have to be according to a body pump class or a body combat class. Do you know what I'm saying? Or a spinning class or something like that. Just move in the way that it makes you happy, and shop different ways of doing it. You don't even have to have equipment. Body weight exercises can be so challenging. You can really work up a sweat. You can try yoga one day, you can try Pilates the next day, you can try some sort of martial arts the next day. There are videos and they're up there for free for everyone on so many different disciplines. So yeah, I just really wanted to say, just embrace the freedom that this has given you to try out different things. I'm going to put my glasses on because I really want to read the comments here. Planking is great and short, yes. Peloton, KXU, yeah, there are some great ones there. Okay, so hopefully I'm not frozen now. I'm going to take these off because it makes me look like a bug. So hopefully you can hear me now, I hope. And that kind of just really moves me into what I wanted to finish up with. It's about we're stuck in this. We can't change the situation. There's a limit to what is within our control, right? We're in lockdown. I know things are relaxing a little bit from what I hear from anyone and everyone that I've spoken to today since Boris's announcement here in the UK yesterday. People aren't expecting or planning to change their actions too much. We're all still, most people are thinking it's too early to come out of this, but obviously we need to do it for the economy. But we're going to be in some form of social distancing and some form, relaxed or not, of lockdown for a few months to come. So it's about making the most of this time, because we can't change what's happening outside. And I'm not just talking about learning a new language or, baking another banana bread. But if that's what makes you happy and that's what gets you through the days and through the weeks, then absolutely go for it. I'm talking about using this time to find the real you. Take that time to really kind of look at what makes you happy, what drains you of energy. Almost like, I term it it's like the chrysalis effect. And this is kind of like being in a cocoon. I mean, we are kind of in a physical cocoon within our four walls as much as we can be. So at the end of this, whenever that end is, because we don't know, it's about planning to emerge from this like a butterfly from a cocoon, letting go of the things that I have been holding me back. I've got so much more time to think. The days just seem long and I've got more time to think. So, just figure out what doesn't serve you. Figure out who is there for you, who you want to be there for. Figure out who possibly is toxic in your life. Toxic people, I think we underestimate how draining they can be on our energy. So just doing just doing a little bit of decluttering. And I'm not just talking about emptying out the wardrobes and emptying out the kitchen cupboards, just emptying out your life of the things that don't serve you, that are possibly holding you back from being your happiest and truest self. That would be time well spent, definitely. A bit of self-maintenance and self-care, a bit like putting a car in for an MOT, or putting it in for a service. Yeah, putting a car in for a service, and everything is checked. And anything that's not quite right is fine-tuned and retuned. And, you know, I'm trying to think of lockdown. I've gone from being a butterfly to a car coming out of service. But you know what I mean. It's about taking that foot off the pedal. So for me, things like running around to unnecessary meetings, and this is going to sound really harsh, but I'm sure some of you out there will relate to what I'm going to say, but running around to unnecessary lunches and dinners, just because someone wants you to be there and it's not making you happy to be there. Obviously, sometimes you have to be in different places. There are duties we have, but I'm trying to cut down the unnecessary running around. And I think that has come from realizing that I'm really happy not running around, and I don't feel like I'm missing out by not being, well, there aren't any social engagements, but I don't feel like I'm chomping at the bit to get back out at any social engagements as and when they start. And that's made me realize that I'm actually not as much of a social butterfly as I thought I was, or that people thought I was. So that's the other thing, is that people have an image of you that has probably been built up over the years. Like, I'm a mum of 3 teenage children, so obviously there's been time for people to build up an image of me. And this is a time for me to redefine myself in a way that will make me and my immediate, well, me, first of all, that will make me happy. Because if I'm happy, then hopefully I can make people around me happy as well. So that was another thing that I just wanted to say, was that, yeah, just freeing myself of toxic things, toxic people, toxic events, and not even toxic, just things that are draining. And I just want to focus on positives as much as possible. I mean, we have to do that now in lockdown just to keep any sort of mental sanity. But even going forth, I think that that's really hard. It's hard to do because we're so uncertain about the future, but there is a future. So it's just a case for me of positive thinking. And I'm just trying to surround myself and all my like WhatsApp group chats and things like that with positives and positive people and like-minded people. And, you know, I kind of haven't left any group chats because, you know, there seems to be a great kind of all these unwritten rules about how you leave a WhatsApp group chat. We've all been there. So I'm not leaving any, but the ones that I don't feel, that I find are actually draining, I'm just not being as active in, just, you know, kind of stepping back a little bit. And that, again, empowers me because I feel like I'm looking after my mental well-being and my mental health. And it gives me time, rather than reading hundreds and tons of WhatsApp group chats, it gives me time to reassess how I want future life to be, like what future me needs to be. Like, for example, now I've kind of been working really hard on all this fitness side and my app, my Beauty Fit app. I've been working on that in the time that I've been creating and carving out for myself and for my family. Just not clinging to the old idea of me, just working on emerging. And that's what I just think that that's a great thing to do. If you can do that, try and strip away what doesn't serve you. Don't cling to the old image and the old ideas of you, and work out what the future you would be a great thing. Wouldn't it be great if we could all do that? I mean, I know it's difficult, but it would be great if we could focus on, even if it's 80% of the time, focus on the positives and work out not a new, but just the best version of ourselves for the future. Oh, I've got another comment. I'm going to read that. Oh, I hope so. Absolutely. So lovely you're living your truth. I hope so. Hope to be living my truth. And hopefully that is a way to be more useful in society as well. Bug eyes again with these on, sorry. Someone said, what do you do about sugar craving? Sugar craving is hard. If you have a sweet tooth, which as I say, I used to have, but if you are used to having a lot of sugar, I don't know. There are obviously two schools of thought here. Some people say, sorry, the sun has just completely gone crazy. I don't know if you can still see me or not. Hold on. Let me just move something and see if I can. Is that okay? The sun is doing weird things behind the cloud and in front of the cloud. There are two schools of thought. Some people say we'll just go cold turkey, and the headaches from that are incredible for the first 3 or 4 days, because sugar is a poison and it's like a drug. You get addicted to it. So if you just go cold turkey with no sugar, if you're a really heavy sugar eater in all its forms, I mean, whether it's biscuits, cakes, sweets, actual sweeties like Haribos and things like that, or you could just cut it back little bit by little bit and then cut it out completely. I do find that the Bulletproof Coffee is what has helped me not have those sugar cravings, because there's a lot of good fats in there. I put a teaspoon of ghee and I put a teaspoon of ghee and a tablespoon of MCT oil. And I also put in a little bit of cinnamon powder, and that really does help. The cinnamon powder really helps your blood sugar levels and just stabilizes your metabolism. So I would definitely try and include the cinnamon if you're going to try and do the Bulletproof Coffee. But basically, there's no other way to do it. You just have to cut it out, go through the sugar withdrawals, and after about 3 days, 4 days max, your body doesn't crave the sugar anymore. If you think you're still craving sugar after about 3 or 4 days, that is your mind. And that's when you have to go mind over matter, because your mind is craving the sugar. It's a habit. You may be habit that you reach for a biscuit at 4 o'clock with your cup of tea. Your body's not craving it after 3 or 4 days physically. Any particular ghee? Yes, when I started out, I used the regular ghee that most Indians buy from the Indian shop in the green tin. Doesn't really taste that nice when you're having it just raw in your Bulletproof. So I now get a grass-fed organic ghee. I'll link it on Beauty Passionista afterwards, or if you guys watched my video on YouTube, I show it to you on there. It's by a brand called Navi. I think it's NA''AVI. I just buy it on Amazon and it tastes delicious. It makes my Bulletproof Coffee into a dessert. So especially on the days where I add a bit of cacao powder, I feel like I'm having a hot chocolate dessert, and it's just a really lovely way to, say, finish up lunch. It's not sweet, but you feel that there's a dessert element to it. It's really hard to describe that. Oh, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. It's not that good. I know, but it's the one that I get because it tastes nice. Currently, I am actually using one that a very dear, so lovely, a dear friend of mine, she knows that I use ghee in my Bulletproof Coffee, and her mother makes ghee at home in the house. I mean, I wouldn't even attempt to. So she uses the best butter that she can possibly get, and she makes ghee at home. So I'm currently using that, and it's so precious that I literally am savouring every teaspoon I've got of that, and that's going to come to a finish in about a couple of weeks, I think. But there is another one that my friend in America has told me about, so I'm going to see if I can source that here. But if you can suggest a better ghee for me, I would love that, because it's about finding the right one that's actually available here in the UK. Do I avoid fruit or dried fruit? I do avoid dried fruit mostly. If I'm having a real sugar craving, then I'll have some dried fruit. I love dried pear. I love dried pear. And fruit, I tend to stick to the fruits that give me not just a little bit of sugar, but also an added extra. So I'll stick to things like citrus fruits because then I'll get the vitamin C as well as having a little sugar hit. I have berries as well, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, because I want the antioxidants that I can get from that as well. So I try and, not quite the right word, but you know what I mean. I get my fruit to multitask so that I'm getting more than just a little bit of a sweetness in my mouth. Also, those fruits that that I've mentioned, or a green apple as well. I do love a nice tart Granny Smith. But also those fruits that I mentioned, they aren't too high in sugar. I do try and stay away from, although I love, I love bananas. My favorite fruit is a banana, but that's a lot higher in sugar. And mangoes, I love a good mango, but also very high in sugar. Like the harder and thicker the skin, the higher the sugar content. So like if I'll have it, I'll limit myself to about half a banana rather than the full banana, just to, if I'm really craving that flavour, because I do love a good banana. Oh, the green tin, sorry, we're going back to the ghee. No, the green tin one is not good. I think I only used that in the beginning because it's what I had, and it was when I was first I'm talking 2 years ago, when I first started experimenting with Bulletproof Coffee, and I very quickly realised that I needed something that actually made it taste delicious. I mean, it's the other extreme. The Navi one is literally delicious. Ghee Easy. Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one. Is that a UK one? I'll have a look and see if that's... Because at the moment, the Navi one that I get on Amazon is sold out in the big tin. So I've literally just bought 3 of the smaller ones because I go through it. So I'm just preparing for when the one that's been made for me by my friend's mother runs out. I'll have my Navi ones ready. Do we have any more questions? Because we've only got about another, I think, 10 minutes before Instagram will kick us out of the live. I've loved talking to you guys, and I love that you guys can talk back to me on this well. It's so nice. Before there are any more questions, I just want to say to Morley, thank you so much for having me. I was super nervous. I am sure it came across in the beginning of this live, but Anita is such a lovely, lovely friend. We were just talking about this before we started this live. We were talking about this yesterday, I think, and we have known each other for 19 years, pretty much exactly to this month. So it's been a long, long, long friendship. I've literally seen the brand Morley kind of grow. It's like watching a newborn baby grow, and now look at the brand now. It's been lovely. I feel very honoured to be here on the Morley Live, by the way, you guys. So I just want you to know that. Oh, what's that under there? Sorry. No sign of nose. Oh, you're so sweet. You can get it here. Okay, I'll have a look at that. Ghee Easy. I'll remember that. It's so gorgeous to share your knowledge. I admire you for changing your career. Oh, thank you. I'm kind of... I feel like it's not a change totally. I feel like I'm just adding more strings to my bow. Oh, God, getting the right words out at the right time. I feel like I'm just adding more strings to my bow, more arrows to my, just adding more dimensions, basically. Fitness is something that I've always been into. I used to be really sporty at school. I nearly did gymnastics as a serious kind of full-time thing when I was a little girl. And then that didn't carry on for various reasons, mostly because of my back. So I've always loved being active and being fit and keeping as flexible as possible. And certainly as I get older, from a fitness point of view, I try and focus mostly on, for me and for the ladies that I'm training right now, focusing on functional fitness as well. So it's not, it's very rare in life that you're just going to sit there and do 12 lots of bicep curls, 3 sets of that. That's not what life is about. Life is about making sure you can get, especially as we get older, and I see people older than me, they can't get in and out of a car, they can't reach up for something. I mean, I'm talking, like years in advance, but, please God, we'll all reach a good age and need to be able to still do things for ourselves. So it's about functional fitness. It's about making sure that you can still move in all the directions, in all the planes, have the reach, have the flexibility, have the strength to live a full life. And I think now, because the kids are now, they're all teenagers. My youngest one is now 14. So my kids are now 14, 16 and 18. And I've got a bit more time to focus on something that would make me a fuller person and add another skill. So that's kind of why I've done this. I need my glasses again. So that's why I've done this. And I've loved doing it because it means I can actually give back to other people as well. It's not like just going and doing a part-time degree at SOAS or something just for the sake of learning. I can actually give back. So like, for example, the fitness apps that I'm doing, I've got 10 ladies who are all about, kind of, hopefully, they're all about 40 plus. And it's been absolutely heartwarming getting the feedback. Today I got feedback after week 1. And it's just great to know that, I can help other people, especially because I've been through it myself. I had to lose about 10 kilos 2 years ago. For health reasons, and it's made such a difference to my life. And if I can just help other people to feel that difference and get that energy back in their lives and live as full a life as they want to live, then I would love to do that. Can I share a beauty tip for grey hair? This is what I do if I've got grey hair, like my roots are coming through. I will style my hair like this. So I will style it so that I'm not blow drying my hair at the moment, but if I was to blow dry, I would not blow dry it backwards. And the other thing, which sounds counterintuitive, and I'm just going to do this now because obviously the hair's not done, so I can do it. But the other thing that I would say is sometimes putting it up into one of those top knots like this sounds like it would be really, really bad for roots, but actually I don't know how it kind of takes away unless they're really bad and really long, it takes away the focus from the roots. If you blow dry your hair backwards, you can that's all you see, I think. But when it's up like this, the focus isn't on the roots as much. And you can always, the best kind of beauty tip, as it were, I would say, is get one of those powders. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention brands. Can I mention brands that I love for the colour, the root powders? And you can just dab them on, like I should have done it just now before the live. I should have done it, but I just washed my hair, so I didn't want to put anything in it. Put those root powders into the roots just to cover it up in between tinting your hair, if you do it yourself at home, or if you go, well, obviously you can't go to a hairdresser now. And don't be scared of just colouring your hair slightly. Or actually, if you are, then just wear a scarf or a hat. This is the time to wear hats. Get your kids' baseball caps, put them on, just cover it up. Because the way I see it at the moment with grey hair, we're in a holding position. At some point, we will be allowed to go out to the hairdressers. So this is a holding position. Don't go doing something balmy and stupid and ruining your hair to the point where it's impossible to be saved. It's unsavable by your hairdresser when you get there. Where can people sign up for the app? So the app is called Beauty Fit. It's still not at its 100%. I would love for people to sign up to the app, but at the moment I'm doing a 6-week intense thing with these 10 ladies that signed up to be my first clients, and by the end of this 6 weeks, so 5 weeks more, that's when I'm going to open it up to the general public, when it's when it's at its finer points and it's finessed. So at the moment you can sign up, but Yeah, you could sign up actually. It's called Beauty Fit, and the program that I'm doing, it's called the Glow Up Method, because I just want women to feel that glow. It's specifically aimed at women, and I'm aiming it for like 35, 40 plus women. I want to be very specific about who I'm talking to, because I feel that way it will be more helpful. I don't want to be everything to everyone. And I think, you know, coming back to something that we were talking about before, it's about being true to yourself, like we were just talking in general, being true to yourself and not trying to be everything for everyone and not trying to be everywhere for everyone. So when I was talking about making the most of lockdown and really looking at what serves you, if your hair isn't as dark as mine, then you can actually see a good difference. But my greys, first of all, drive me up the wall because they're only in the front. I wouldn't mind if they were at the back because you can't see them, but they're only in the front, like a little halo of greys, and they're very stubborn, especially the ones around here. So I have to use a proper dye, sadly, and I do try to keep going in between with the powders. I think Anita's saying yes please, so maybe that I can mention. So I use Colour Wow, which is, I think everyone's heard of Colour Wow. I don't think there's a woman over the age of 35 that hasn't used Colour Wow or doesn't have it somewhere in her bedroom or in her dressing room or on her vanity. The other one which I really love, which I don't think it gets enough credit, is called Zero Grey. And it comes in, I think, 3-4 colours. So maybe not the colour range. I could be wrong. I don't think it has the colour range of Colour Wow. But something about Zero Grey just covers really, really well. I really like that brand as well. Oh, I'm so sorry. The sun is just playing up. Maybe if I sit back or I sit forward. I'll sit forward. Sorry for the close-up, guys, but it's just the sun is playing. I think we're done. I hope that's been helpful. Oh, sorry if you've covered this, but do you follow any particular wellness, mindfulness rituals? Yes, I'm an early riser compared to anyone in my house. No one gets up as early as me. Even on lockdown, I'm still the earliest riser. I don't get up as early. I'll get up about half an hour to an hour later than I would if I had to take the kids to school. But I'm still the earliest riser. So my little wellness ritual, as it were, would be to take either my hot water and lemon or my coffee or both, and I go and sit in a room where no one is going to come into that room at all. And I sit there with my tea or my hot water, lemon or my coffee, just me, and I just stare out into the garden. The cats come in and out and they keep me company, and that's how I start my day. I guess it's like a little mini meditation every morning. I would love to do a proper meditation every morning, even just a 10-minute meditation or breathing exercise or something like that would be great. Actually, I need to do that. But I make that time for me. And there are days when I don't really want to get out of bed, but I do because I want that time, that quiet time in the house where the only other things moving in the house are the cats. So it's just me and the cats. And it just sets me up for the day. And I the days that I don't manage that, I feel like I'm all over the place all day. So I think it's important to try and carve out a little bit of time for you if you can every day. It is difficult, especially when the house is full of people and all the kids are home. But yeah, hope that answers your question. We have a minute. I can't believe it. We have less than a minute. So if you have any questions, sling them my way right now. Otherwise, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining in. Thank you first and foremost to Morley for having me and for letting me ramble on for an hour on their platform, on their Instagram. If you just joined or you're still here, I'm Ambarina, and my Instagram is @beautypassionista, and I would love for you to come and ask me more questions on there if you want to. But I think that's That's it. Am I going to put my glass on? Yes, I'm going to put my glass on just for the last bit to say hello and I love you all. Thank you again, Morley. And I'm going to say, oh, so I think the sun definitely wants me to go now. Look at that. Golden hour soon. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and stay safe and stay well and look after yourselves. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye-bye.